for 8/8/14.
Motion to approve the minutes of 8/8/14.
Second.
Do we have any discussion? These minutes were emailed to us. And this was the meeting on the workshop for the village district. With supporting documentation. All in favor of the minutes of 8/18/14?
Aye.
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 Okay, and then I would accept a motion for the minutes, again, that were emailed to us of 8/25/14, regularly scheduled.
Second.
Do we have any discussion on that? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
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 And then I have minutes to accept for August 25th, which was the continuation of the informational meeting of 1259 Massachusetts Ave, the Glow Chiropractic.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion on that informational meeting minutes? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Great job. MRPC, they did have their meeting. I was unable to attend because we had the interviews of the planning land use director with the selectmen, so I was unable to go to the MRPC meeting. Capital planning, we haven't had a meeting as of yet scheduled for this season. And school building committee, Nathan.
We are meeting, there was a meeting with the abutters last week, yeah.
How did that go?
I was not in attendance there, so I couldn't say for sure. My wife actually went and, I'll get a report from the SBC
Ask her if she could type up
tomorrow's
some
meeting.
minutes and,
I'll hear about it tomorrow at the school, or Wednesday at the school building committee meeting.
Okay, good.
And there's another meeting scheduled. I'll give her, it's not for a while, I don't think, so I'll give a report on that later.
okay, great. Thank you. Open space committee, Nathan.
I volunteered to serve on the open space committee for the time being. Turns out they meet sort of on an ad hoc basis. So I think we're all set as far as that goes, and looking forward to working with that team.
Great. And the only thing in front of them right now is that land, is it on Page Street? Did that come to an end? Does anybody know if that came to an end?
I haven't heard anything.
The land on Page that was in Chapter 61 came out, they had already accepted an offer, and some of the land abutted in conservation, and the Board of Selectmen were looking for feedback on that.
Yeah, I don't know what the Board of Selectmen decided. My understanding is everyone was
We're all set.
okay with
Okay.
just allowing them to close and
That's what I
purchase the
thought,
property.
I didn't know if I, okay, perfect, thank you, Ken. Building Reuse Committee, Damon.
Have not met yet. The next meeting is September 15th, which I will be at our meeting, so I'll have to get the feedback secondhand to give you guys.
Okay. And MJTC, Ken?
The next meeting is the 17th, and I will actually be there.
Excellent. Well, to go back to Damon, I'm sorry, and if you want to invite them to ours, where it's the workshop that we're doing the village district, they're more than welcome if they don't have a big agenda and they want to.
Yeah, I'll run it by Jamie. I think
That's
that-
just, the invitation's there if they'd love to come.
Yep.
Okay, and Agricultural Commission, Matthew.
Yes, their next meeting is on the 18th as well.
Okay. All right, new business, 909 Massachusetts Ave special permit. That's the,
Antique shop.
yes, the antique shop that really is looking for a sign difference. So they'll be in front of us. Then we have 322 Flat Hill Community. There's a gentleman looking to put a solar there. They'll be in front of us. This is all on the 22nd. And then White Woods with that 10-inch modification will be in front of us as well. Final stamp plan for the board to endorse. I think we've all done that. Thank you very much. Highfield Village updates. We have received a request email, 60-day extension, which is in the, and I put them all here, just so we wouldn't. So those three are all set. Highfield Village. I received email request for a 60-day extension in black agenda box. Current extension expires on 9/22. 60 days takes you to November 24th board meeting. Plans dropped off in the office today for the reviewing engineer. Okay, so they're requesting, they're still working, him and Ron from David E. Ross are still working on the plans together. So they're looking for us to push them out from 9/22 till the November 24th planning board meeting.
Motion to extend the deadline on the Highfield Village project to
November 24th.
November 24th as requested.
Second?
Do we have any discussion on that?
Is anybody keeping track of the number of extensions for this project?
Marjorie has, every time they extend, she has that,
This is like 36 or 37.
that record. But at least now it's our engineer working with that engineer, and they're both, and I think what happened is Jesse was the original, and then Jesse couldn't do it, so this gentleman, I think his name is Rob, is now doing it, so he isn't as familiar with it as Jesse was either. So I think just the two of them working together, and they are both working together, which is a good thing.
And a general comment on
Yes,
that.
please.
On that project is the plans that are available on the website. There's 25 out of 50 plan set still. All year last year, I was trying to get the plan set, and that was eventually what came out, and that's what's posted. There's only 25 plans, and the cover sheet specifically says there's 50 plans in the set.
All right, we will have Marjorie check on that and get all the plans PDF'd on the website.
Thank you.
Thank you for pointing it out. All right.
Oh, do we vote? We gotta do the I stuff on that.
Yeah, we have to, you made the motion? Did you
Yeah,
make a
he
motion?
seconds
And
it.
Damon seconded it. Any other discussion besides finding out where the other 25 plans are?
That's fair.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 So they will be extended till the November 24th meeting. Next, Elmwood, weekly. They're hauling out gravel, so that's what they're doing. Now, well, they'll be working with Mike on that. Okay. Emerald Place. Emerald Place update. I don't know if maybe someone requested this when we were talking to them, but they gave us a breakdown. They're approved for 238 units. They completed and occupied to date 190 units, so they're at 80% capacity. Under development 12, to be built 36. Infrastructure, the utilities and all that, they're at 100%. Internal roadways, the binder course is at 100. Top finish and berms are at 60. So that was kind of the breakdown that they gave us. Any questions on that? Okay. Tri-Town Landing, no report. Forest Corp, no report. 651 Chase Road, no report. Whitetail Crossing, no report. Action file for 1259 Mass Ave. Board endorsing the findings and directives. Final plans currently in review with Whitnam and Bingham. All right, so. Why do we have 3?
3 copies. There's probably one original for you, one original for the developer, and one original for the town clerk. That's my guess.
Okay. All right. So the first, we usually have the directives, the findings first. So did everybody look at the findings and directives for Glow Chiropractic? Because the one thing I had, Ken, did they, I know you had sent back on the directives, the parking.
Yep, they covered it to the new terminology that I requested.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure of that. When I read them today, I had an old copy, so I wanted to make sure that was done.
Yeah, so the two that I was concerned about was the particulate matter, basically the fertilizer and the pesticides not being loaded inside, and there being none of that residue showing up in the parking area.
Okay. Now, I don't have to read these, do I?
If you've already reviewed them,
We've all reviewed them.
yeah.
And they're public record.
Yeah, and 3 was the one where it said if there's going to be more than 2 vehicles parked at the site, then they'll come back to us to reassess striping, which was a change in the wording from to employees.
Okay.
It needs to be tied to the cars parked there, not the number of employees.
The one thing about that particular wording, maybe it's fine as it is. It just seemed a little like it said 2 vehicles on the site, and the only thing I want to make sure is that they didn't confuse. Like, there's the whole site, which includes a parking lot for the chiropractic, with the portion of the site that we've really been focusing our review on, which is the new pad outside the garage for the landscaping
The
business.
2 findings.
In the finding, it kind of really clarified, it was pretty focused on that pad area, but I was, I don't know if the directive maybe could be a little more specific. I don't know. I probably should have emailed Marjorie about it last week or whatever. But.
Well, I mean, right at the beginning, it says what the directives and findings are for, so it's specifically for this use.
For that use? Okay. Then maybe it's fine.
Okay, and copies of these will be there, public records will be at the planning office if anybody wants to read them.
Yes.
I have a question on number 7,
On the directives or the findings,
the directives.
okay?
Number 7, the approval is contingent on successful final review of a revised plan. Does that mean that we can't comment on the next review? I mean, we're approving it regardless of what the review finds?
Are you talking about when you review the final plans?
Well-
And if you find any inconsistencies? Is that what you're talking about?
Well, no, I was wondering, because the review engineer is going to come and he's going to be before the board with his findings on the revised review, right?
So when we discussed, I'll try to put a little synopsis around this. When we discussed this, and we came up with our findings and approvals, there was all those exceptions, and we went through all of that, right?
Right.
And then there were a couple of points on there that were minor discrepancies, where it said the plan wasn't sufficiently updated to this point. And so what we agreed was that they could take that offline and address those fine points of making sure the plan called out this and called out that. And as long as those things were called out in acceptance of the engineering, of our engineer, then we would approve the plan. So those, it was just fine points, it wasn't the bigger stuff, because we had already reviewed all the bigger stuff. Is that an accurate
Yeah.
synopsis?
I guess my question was more to the point that, what if he finds something that we didn't see before, he didn't address initially?
Then I would think that wouldn't be considered a successful final review. He would raise a new issue with
Okay.
us. And that
Right,
would,
that's the way I'm taking it, is that this approval is contingent
Okay, very
It's only
good.
contingent on,
The
Successful
successful
final
If he finds
review of a
something new,
revised plan.
that he's like, oh, wait, I missed this.
Okay.
Then I would think that that's not considered a successful final review.
Good. Thank you.
you are welcome. I'm sorry, we have to sign. I'm a dead ear girl.
Do we have to do any motion to approve it or just sign it?
No, we have to do motions to approve them.
Oh, okay. You take a motion?
Yep, please.
Motion to approve the findings and directives for 1259 Mass Ave.
Second.
Do we have any more discussion on them? And again, it's contingent on final approval of the
Plans.
stuff submitted. If no more discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
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 And I. Okay. This one is short meeting.
Yeah. Doesn't happen too often for you.
No. The 22nd's gonna be crazy.
Yeah. I guess this could be considered your break before.
Well, and they're saying that in our packet, there was a resume for Andy.
Yeah,
In what packet?
it was in one of those three that you emailed out,
That Marjorie emailed out or I emailed out?
that you forwarded from Kerry.
Yes, but that was the second person, Jack Hunter,
There was but the other one wasn't titled his resume, but his resume was within those pages.
was in those, okay,
Oh, you're talking about Adam.
yes.
Oh, okay.
Because I have it, but because I was on the committee. So I want to make sure my board has it. And I didn't look at the things Kerry forwarded me because I already have them.
Who was who did we receive the email
From
from?
Joanna.
I forwarded an email,
Was that this past week?
last night, I believe, Sunday, yesterday.
Yesterday.
I don't think I got that one, so. Okay, that's fine. Oh, that's all right.
Do we have to sign all these?
Yes. Yes. So yeah, Joanna, his resume was in the agenda for the selectmen.
Oh, for the selectmen,
Yeah, that was forwarded as well.
okay.
Well, it's labeled planning board agenda, but it's in the selectmen letterhead, and it's for the board of selectmen.
Okay. So number 6, that's all set. 250 Whalum Road, the luxury apartments, no report. 40 Leominster Shirley Road, that is that cell tower that they're thinking of doing. Master planning, the economic development joint meeting is scheduled for 10/20/14, and Marjorie did invite everybody on all committees. Notices and communications, we don't have any. I'm looking for... our meeting schedule. Tomorrow, September 9th, we're on the agenda for the planning with the Board of Selectmen for a joint meeting, and Kerry will give her recommendation on the candidate, and then we just vote on that candidate. He's already been identified and job offered, so she's just now ratifying the appointment. So that's what tomorrow night will be. The Board of Selectmen will vote and will vote,
It's 7 PM?
7 PM. Yep, it's the first thing on their agenda.
Do you guys have a quorum if I can't make it?
Yep.
Or
Do we need to have a quorum? Because I may also not be able to make it.
Will you be able to make it?
It's at 7 o'clock?
7 PM.
It's right on the border. Well, I may be a little bit late.
I can make it.
And I can make it, so that'll give us a quorum if the three of us.
I'm coming from Boston on Tuesday nights, and that's a wild card, you never.
Right.
You never know.
Okay.
Very wild.
All right, so we'll shoot for,
I'll definitely be here by 7:30.
okay. If you're not here, we'll just ask them to go to the next agenda.
I'll try to see if I can boogie out early.
No, when we'll wait, you know, when you get here, you get there.
Okay.
No worries. So, that'll be tomorrow night. September 15th, we have our bylaw, workshop at 6:30 at the Ritter. And then on September 22nd, we have a full agenda here at the Town Hall. October 20th, then we have the holiday, the second Monday of October, so we do not have a meeting. We have our master plan workshop with the other board members that we invited. And October 27th is our scheduled meeting at the And we're also looking for a date for Sean to come back on the HPP.
You mean Sam?
Sam,
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
that's okay.
I know it was an S.
Yes, Marjorie and I are reviewing a draft right now.
Okay.
Hoping to get you guys to look at the draft as soon as we get through it. So there's quite a lot of information in it. I think that Sam would definitely like to have a working meeting with you so he can especially go through the recommendations within the plan.
And do you know when Sam would be ready?
He's available. It's just your schedule right now. We're trying to pinpoint. It was tentatively scheduled for the 22nd, but the 22nd filled up rather quickly with public hearings, as you know.
Yes.
So if we could schedule another workshop in October at some point.
Okay, do you know how much time Sam would be looking for?
Well, it's gonna be discussion, so I would give it at least an hour to an hour and a half, at least.
Yeah, I think it could, yeah, I agree. Yeah, maybe 2.
Yes, maybe 2. So, let me look at October here.
Damon, is the zoning board of appeal thing the 10th? I'm looking on Facebook for my post.
I think it's this Wednesday, yeah.
This Wednesday, the 10th, right? That's what I thought.
What's the time?
That's for the zoning board of appeals hearing for the gas station across from St. Boniface there.
Gotcha, thanks.
Yeah, I just wanted to put a reminder out there to anybody that wanted to go to the meeting. And they posted it on that Lunenburg webpage, the Lunenburg Mass webpage to go. And I believe it's this Wednesday at 7 PM here. But they're having a public meeting for anybody that would like to come and give their feedback. That's this Wednesday, the zoning board of appeals, the old Doc Riley Stone Farm. They're looking to put the gas station.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about that, and if we don't talk about it now, then talk about it under members' issues, but if we're gonna talk about it now.
I was just giving the FYI of the meeting.
Okay.
We can wait and go to members.
Yeah.
Whatever you wanna do.
So for Mondays, I think we have September 29th. You could do a workshop, or October 6th.
October 6th, is that the Monday before the holiday?
Yes, it's, well, not the one before, it's the week before the holiday. The holiday falls on the 13th.
Right, yeah, the Monday before.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So which do you prefer?
I'll put that out to the board. We could do 9/29 or 10/6.
Not, what was it, 9?
You mean 10/6?
10/6 or
Yeah.
9/29.
9/29, yep.
Does a date work better for anyone?
Either way.
10/6 or 9/29?
Yes.
They're both about the same for me.
They're both what?
They're both the same for me as of right now.
Okay. Matthew?
I'm fine.
So you want to go, we already have 3 in September and only 2 in October. So do you want to go 3 in October or 4 in September?
Let's do the October.
Okay, October 6th, 2014, see if Sam would be able to join us,
Okay.
and we can get that complete, which would be 10/6/14.
Yeah, and not to be contrarian, I'm just thinking, so we're gonna come out of we have our bylaw workshop. I think we're making good progress on the village bylaw. Which, that's on the 15th. I guess if we wanted to do something more with that,
We got the 29th.
we got the 29th. Okay, yeah, that's cool. Okay, great, thanks, yep.
Okay. Well, once we have our workshop, maybe we can figure out our next time to meet.
Awesome.
And I was thinking because I was going to try to see if Sam could go with the workshop, but if we get a lot more done on the workshop at the next meeting, and we only need like an hour, we could put it back on the 6th with Sam. If Sam's gonna go an hour and a half, 2 hours, we're already there, and we only got an hour left to finish on the bylaw, we could put it there.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? Because hopefully with this next 2 hours, we'll put a good dent, because I think we made great progress the first one,
Oh, yeah.
so I think we might be able to.
And Marjorie sent you the draft I did? I'm not sure. Did she?
Of the
Not
village?
yet? Yeah. Not yet?
Not that I recall, but I
Okay.
can check.
I can have her send it at least a few days before we meet, so you guys can take a look at it.
Okay.
Okay?
All right, I wish I was so slow we could have had Sam here tonight.
Yeah, that would have been great.
I know. I, for some reason, thought that these two were very busy meetings. Public comment, we don't have any. Board comment, member issues, go ahead, Nathan.
All right, yeah, so, a couple things. One is Stone Farm. So, if I understand correctly, has it been firmly established that Stone Farm is in the commercial district as opposed to limited business or, retail commercial?
I don't know. I haven't done any research. I don't know that.
I think it's not limited business. I think it might be limited commercial. Do you want me to help you find it? I just looked at this the other day too. Did you find it?
There's a little sticky that says Stone Farm, but it's not clear where it is.
Okay.
Well, my understanding, yeah, it was right on a border, and Jamie Rowe came before us last year or something, and they were digging into the archives to figure out which district it was in. And the reason I mention it is because I believe that technically our current design bylaw is only attached to commercial district, not to limited business, not to retail commercial.
But we can always put that as a directive.
I'm not sure that we can. So a couple things like, so I guess what I would be looking, so maybe we can, I guess to help ensure,
Just like, just for example, Mr. Crowley with the gravel permit,
okay,
he did not have to apply for a gravel permit because it wasn't a full-fledged subdivision, but we put in his directives, everything that a gravel permit consists of, he had to do.
right. Yeah, I guess I'd feel like more comfortable that if we were to get pushback from the developer, we'd be on more solid ground if it was written in as a condition of the special permit that it adhere to the design bylaw. Just to not have to argue about that and just to not have any danger of legal dispute or whatever. I guess, there was an article in the Ledger.
God bless you.
This is, what I'm about to talk about is not scientifically representative. Like, I have two anecdotes. I have someone who called me about it, and I have the thing in the Ledger. But it kind of, both pieces of feedback kind of reinforced, as a planning board member, the things I've been thinking about in terms of, the importance of, if a project were to go in there of that nature, that it be done in a manner that's consistent with our goals for the the town center, the historic, the village district, I guess, that we're putting together. And so, I guess what I would recommend is that we, I think I want to do is make a motion that as a board, we send a polite letter to the ZBA, encouraging them to, if they decide to approve the request for the special permit, to require adherence to the design law as a condition of the special permit.
You gotta do a development plan review on it anyways.
Well, the thing is my understanding anyways is, so first of all, there's a danger that it's not in a commercial district, which,
I think it is in a commercial district. Is it in a commercial district?
Well, I'm looking at the town GIS right now, and the commercial they often don't overlay properly, but the Stone Farm package store, the commercial and limited business line goes through the building.
Ah,
Kind of odd.
And
And it straddles the property line.
And what?
And it straddles the property line between the Stone Farm package store and the Stone Farm development.
yeah, so this was the one Jamie brought before us, and I believe they established that it's in the commercial, but I just want to take that issue off the table by putting in special permit.
Uh-huh.
The other issue is, you were telling us that,
That would be
you
a
know,
zoning issue.
eventually we want to consolidate, for special permit cases, we want the site plan review process to be part of special,
you want it one or the other.
one or the other. But
Yeah.
even when the ZBA does the special permit, so where would, they would do the site plan review?
They would
They get
follow the
contours on each
design
end.
standards that you establish for the district.
Okay, but they would also conduct whatever the equivalent of the site plan review
Yeah, it's
in
not
the.
so
Yes, right.
So I guess I'm assuming it sounds like we're still going to proceed with site plan review for this case.
I think so, since they've already filed for their special permit, and I'm imagining very soon they'll file for their development plan review. So it won't fall underneath the new district you're trying to establish,
At this
because they've already filed.
So yeah, I guess I would like to send that letter to the ZBA, one, to encourage them to work with the Historic Commission to determine whatever the historical status of the property is, and secondly, to attach, is a condition of the special permit that they adhere to the design bylaw, just to make sure there's no ambiguity, that it's gonna, and I would,
Okay.
I would even give some guidance that we would probably be conducting a pretty thorough,
Development plan
review from a
review.
design bylaw standpoint, because of, it is really, if not in, right, I believe it's in the proposed area that we're seeking for the village district. And the feedback I've gotten from a couple residents so far is that, and some of them are pretty knowledgeable of this stuff, is that, they see that as, kind of a gateway to the village district. And
Oh, yeah, I understand that they want to maintain the character
absolutely. And
of
so,
your town.
so done right, that could be a great project, but we just want to, that's, I don't know, that's the kind of motion I would like to entertain. Any other, how do folks feel about that, I guess?
Well, I mean, I said this to Damon when we were coming in. Either way, I'm going to hold them accountable to the design standards. If it wasn't in the commercial, it was in limited business, and that didn't apply, it was going to go into their directives that they follow. They're close to our village district. If not, when we finish our bylaw, it's going to match. We want it to match what we're creating in our center. And I'm going to, just like I did with Mr. Crowley on 50 Elmwood, we held him to the gravel, even though he didn't have to. We put that in the directives. And I would do the same thing with this, that in the development plan review, that they would be accountable for the design bylaw that we created. So I can also write a letter asking the ZBA, but I'm going to hold them accountable as well.
So it sounds like we're in agreement. I guess the thing I would like to ask them to do is make it a condition of special permit, because while I agree we could, put our foot down in the site plan review, I think legally, in terms of if they really wanted to push back, I think they could push back on that, whereas with the condition of the special permit, I don't think they can push, it's not really as disputable.
I guess be cautious about, I don't know, stepping on the Board of Appeals' toes, but maybe just recommending and asking if they could put a condition in their permit that they adhere to the design guidelines. You can quote the number, and that they adhere to the development plan review directives as part of the special permit conditions. Maybe something like that. Does that sound okay?
What, repeat it?
That they would have a condition asking them to put a provision in their conditions quoting the section of the bylaw that you'd like the developer to adhere to, and that also the developer would adhere to the directives that you put forth with the development plan review.
That sounds good. So they would adhere to both the design, we could reference the design bylaw.
Right.
And we could say they will condition, the special permit is conditional on adhering to that, we recommend, and it's
Just a
conditional.
request though.
Yes,
Request to the
exactly.
ZBA.
Right.
Yeah, okay, so that we requested to the ZBA, make it a, okay.
It's up to them.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is.
oh, absolutely, but that's our I mean, I just want to, I'm not trying to force, I mean, we have no, it's got to be a polite recommendation,
Exactly.
but, agreed.
Right. But, I mean, they usually solicit input from departments, so that could be your input.
Yeah,
Okay.
and could we, and they're meeting on Wednesday, so I'm wondering, not to be too pushy, could a short, polite letter of that nature be put together tomorrow and emailed to them?
Maybe Marjorie could do it. I'm not back in the office until Thursday, so I maybe put that, see if she can.
And she usually does this first thing Tuesday, as soon as it goes on YouTube, and this is a quick meeting, so she'll have a lot of time.
Okay.
Not that, you know what I mean. Usually the minutes take her 4 to 5 hours.
She probably would disagree with you.
Right, I didn't mean it that way. I meant in the minutes, she usually has a lot more hours invested in the minutes because our meetings have been running
Are
so
very
long.
long. Yes.
Where right now it's been a 40-minute meeting, so she's gonna be doing a
Take 4
happy
hours Just to
dance.
listen to the meeting.
Okay,
So I would like to, thanks for, any other discussion about?
Not on that topic.
So I'd like to make a motion then to send a politely worded letter to the ZBA, request, informing them that it's our, recommendation, or that we would politely request that they include, if they so choose to approve this project that's before them, to make the special permit issuance conditional on the applicant's adherence to, make the special permit conditional on adherence to the design bylaw and reference that, and conditional on following the directives of the site plan review of the planning board.
I'd second that.
I would second, all in favor, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. But again, I just want to confirm that our development plan review is not optional.
No, it's not.
Right,
They're
directives aren't
supposed to-
optional.
They're supposed to come before you for their development plan review, and they're aware of that.
Yeah.
So,
Matthew, oh, did you have something else?
Well, no, let me take turns.
My turn.
Go ahead.
Yeah, just a comment on the town calendar. I noticed that tonight's agenda was not posted until possibly Thursday, and most likely until today. And we've got these things on our meeting schedule on the agenda, but they're still, the September 15th, the October 20, and the October 27th are still not showing up on the town calendar. And we've got an empty meeting.
They go
hall.
up 48 hours before. Thursday, Marjorie puts it in the,
Well, that's the minimum requirement. They have to be up 48 hours before, but ZBA's meetings have been up since last month. I'm not accusing anybody of dragging their feet. I am simply saying that if we have an idea of an agenda, that we should post it as soon as we can, and then if we need to revise it later, then we can do that. But if we don't, if people are looking for something to do next week as far as being involved in their town politics, and they don't see anything for the planning board, they're not likely gonna look again on the day of the meeting. And even if they did, then how are they gonna be able to schedule that? The ZBA's 2 meetings for this month were online before the end of last month.
Yeah, this-
And it's just a note that I think that we might have greater attendance if we had at least a placeholder saying, well, we're gonna have a meeting and this is what we're gonna talk about, and then fill it in further as we get along.
well, sometimes we don't know until a week beforehand.
their agendas are much more permanent. They have one
They're
thing
not.
to talk about for that meeting, and they know months ahead of time.
And just so you know, every Monday, Marjorie comes in and she goes through and calls every person on this agenda to reconfirm, yes, you still want to come the 22nd, like for Highfield Village. She's been calling them since last Wednesday, working out, are you going to be ready for the 22nd? Are we pushing you out? What are we doing? So she just got in talking with them last Thursday. So-
Honestly, I'm not criticizing
Oh, I'm not-
anyone.
I'm-
I'm simply trying to make a suggestion that would help bolster attendance. If we just had a placeholder saying, we're gonna have a meeting, and maybe not even have an agenda, but at least have it, not be a blank day on the town calendar.
Well, yeah, the town calendar should have the 2nd and the 4th booked. That's known, where we meet the 2nd Monday of every month and the 4th Monday of every month. So that should be populated in the town calendar, absolutely. No, thank you.
Yeah, very good.
What else? Nathan, back to you.
So, kind of a related topic to the 1259 Mass Ave. I was wondering, we talked a little bit about some small bylaws for town meeting. We talked about the sign bylaw. We talked about some scenic road stuff, and I'd like to add to that list extending the design bylaw to the whatever remaining commercially, is that a word, districts that we have, like limited business and retail, commercial, or whatever it is. Just because I feel like the intent of the bylaw and the goals of the bylaw are equally applicable, if not more to some extent, because some of them tend to be even like, I think it's applicable to those as well. I think it's just kind of a, now that we've established that it seems to work pretty well, kind of start to roll it out across the rest of those.
Are you looking to revise the sign bylaw?
Well, so that would be a separate item, right? So there's,
Okay.
so we do want to revise the sign bylaw. There's the
There were
scenic
several
road.
that I wanted to for
Okay.
this fall meeting. It was the sign bylaw and the parking space. The 300 really isn't compatible to the communities today. And someone else wanted to do the historical, which would have been, was it Flat Hill and Northfield? There was questions on.
Scenic road, yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you want to do scenic roads? Okay.
2 candidates there, Flat Hill and Northfield.
You guys have a zoning wish list.
A what?
A zoning wish list.
Yes.
Okay.
These are things that we think could potentially be relatively quick items, I think.
Well, and for me, I just, as we, with the school and projects in front of us, the engineers were all saying that ours were not really feasible, that it didn't make sense. You really, today, the parking spaces, and nobody had ever brought that to our attention before. So if any bylaw that engineers or, peer engineers or engineers feel really aren't within what other communities are doing, well, I want to look at ours to make sure
Oh,
it
it's
isn't
always-
obsolete. And
Yeah, it's always good to revisit your zoning and see if it's a good fit every few years.
If we want to do the scenic road thing, can we put a request in the historic commission? I'm sure they'd be happy to give us a write-up on the history of the roads, just to back up whatever we want to do.
Okay.
So if someone wants to have historic commission write or history of Northfield and Flat Hill, those are the two, right? Just add to our argument.
That's a great idea. Should we, how do you feel about folks proceeding on that? Have Marjorie send that?
yes, you
request?
wrote it down. Chantel wrote it down.
Okay. So the parking space thing, we would probably want to get some engineering feedback in crafting that, or what would the modus, how would we go about?
Well, you could also look at your
Different communities.
communities around you to see what they have first.
Here, Shirley, Lancaster,
Okay.
they're kind of the same size. And I just pull up theirs, look at theirs.
Yeah, give it that a look, and then maybe you could have your peer review engineer, provide some comment once you get your examples in order.
That sounds like a good idea.
Okay.
I seem to remember there's a chapter under the state's smart growth plans that specifically had traffic or parking recommendations.
It probably is. I was just on Smart Growth page today, so, and I did see something on parking. So we can pull that up too.
That'd be great. So how do folks feel about the extending the design bylaw topic?
Yeah, I feel like that should apply to any commercial development that's going on.
I think we should put it as an agenda item
Yeah.
to be able to speak to that, and then if there's people in different districts that might have a concern, they've seen it posted and are able to come to the meeting,
Of course, yeah.
so.
I just think it's a topic that, yeah, we should talk about.
Yeah,
Cool.
we'll put that on the agenda for 9/22.
You want to add to that one?
922 looking.
Yeah, but I think we all agree that we want to kind of move them over, so it's just if anybody wants to come to discuss it, that we would have their feedback,
Sure.
so.
Sounds good.
Instead of pushing it out and pushing it out.
Yeah, get it done. Okay. Sign bylaw, so that's another comparative kind of thing?
Yeah, you can certainly do it that way. I mean, it never hurts to see what the neighbors are doing for sign bylaws. Yeah, take a look and see what provisions they have for sizes and lighting and things of that nature. So,
Awesome. Okay, thanks. I
you're
think
welcome.
That's all I got there.
Anybody else? Okay, and hopefully I will be at the meeting tomorrow night to ratify and meet our new land use director. With that, I would accept a motion to adjourn, if nobody else has anything.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 See, all I have to do is request more efficient meetings.
Just like that, magic.